Greg.
What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Roll Tide in the chat. Welcome to the Bama Football on YouTube post-game show with the coaches, myself, Coach Smook, Coach Sean down there below me, and then Coach Jay over there to the left or right of me, whichever way he is on your screen. Guys, welcome into the show. Man, tough win again. This is, just another game of mixed emotions. We leave the game with mixed emotions. Satisfied with the win, not satisfied, but happy for the win, but definitely mixed emotions. So, like I said, man, welcome to the show, everybody. Hey, as we get into this, man, make sure you're coming in, you're dropping the likes, making sure you're sharing the screen. Hey, and guys, just come in and load up the comment box. The more comments, the better. The more people are going to see this show. And we want to get all your reactions. We want to give you all the attention that you deserve as a fan base. Yo, but shout out to my bros for being here, Coach Sean. We're going to start with you today, man. Initial reaction, man. How you feeling today? And initial reaction from this Alabama victory, 24-21 over Arkansas.
The truth is in the details, man. That's my saying. I hope y'all remember that. The truth is in the details. I apologize to the chat that I can't be I can't be the fan that see the silver lining. I'm a pessimist by nature when it comes to sports. I see things that'll get you beat down the road. I apologize that I can't be this real blinded fan that see things that others may not see. This is the very reason. I won't get into it too deep in the introduction, but this is why I was so upset. I might be the only person that was upset in the Mississippi State game. This is why. Because every team is not going to play you the way Texas A&M did. Every team's back end is not as bad as Texas A&M's is, even though their front four is outstanding. This is what I mean when I say you have to play a 60-minute game. I don't think the play calling was super bad at times. I don't think that I honestly believe this was I saw bad body language. I seen lethargic stuff. I seen people walking back to the huddle. I seen a total lack of focus in the second half. I don't understand why we stopped running the ball on the early downs and tried to turn Jalen Milroe into Peyton Manning for some reason in the second half. Same as Mississippi State. I just don't understand. It seemed like we just completely lost our identity in the second half and went back to being that Bama of old. I'm just different, bro, because if you play football, you understand what 3 and outs will do to you. Mm-hmm. If you come into a game, go 3 and out, no problem. You come back into a game again, you go 3 and out, maybe no problem. But you go 3 and out for a third time on second half. Guess what that does? It completely takes you out of what you're doing on the other side of the ball. And then the team scores, and next thing you know, your ass in a fight. Mm-hmm. And I'll stop there.
Yep. Coach Jay, take it away, man. You're muted, brother. He's muted.
No, I'm good. I'm back. My computer muted for some reason. No, this was an extremely sloppy game. Extremely sloppy second half, just like my computer. This was just a terrible showcasing. Terrible showcasing in the second half. First half, we looked really. I mean, the first half, like I said, we had a couple rough patches, but then we fixed it all together. Jalen Milroe looked extremely accurate throwing the ball deep down the field. Receivers were getting wide open. Protection was great as soon as we made the adjustment to go to Elijah Pritchett. And then all of a sudden the second half came and we came out firing. We came out firing off the gate. We ran the football effectively and efficiently. And then all of a sudden we decided to throw the football on 3rd and short instead of finishing the drive off when, what got to that point was running the football. And again, we ran it through the A gap, ran it through the B gap. We were effective on that drive, and then we decided to throw the football in that 3rd and short situation, kick a field goal, and then everything just kind of went to hell ever since that Jalen Key penalty. We looked undisciplined. Coach Sean said it. We looked lethargic. We just looked not motivated at all. Execution was not there. Tons of broken plays. Arkansas, pretty much the 2 successful things we're gonna get into it. 2 literally key things what made Arkansas come back and almost win this game. Screen plays and broken plays. That was it. They did not do anything else but focus on passes on the perimeter, really those short passes on the perimeter, and broken plays. That was it. That was their game plan. And we almost allowed that Arkansas team to come up and almost win that game against us. Offensively, we gotta find some sort of consistency. We got to find some sort of consistency with this offense. It can't keep being that one half we look great and then the other half we just look we don't. It's not even the fact that we're not really executing. It's the fact that we're not staying to our philosophy. What's getting us to that point? We're running the football. We're starting to establish more of a balanced look. And then the second half, Jalen Milroe is in shotgun. He's trying to look like Peyton Manning. You might as well just get him to call Omaha. Try to look like Peyton Manning out there. It's ridiculous. So Tommy Rees has got to figure out what sort of philosophy we want to run. We got to stick with the game plan. Stick with the game plan from the first half into the second half. Stick with what's working instead of trying out a bunch of different crap, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what we're trying to do. We can't keep playing around with these teams. Can't keep playing around with these teams, man. If this was LSU tonight, we would have lost. We would have lost this game if we would have played LSU today, man. Your season is on the line. We need to start playing like it.
All right. Shout out to Money's Senpai for the $2 super chat. He said, coaches, go as hard as you need to be. All right. And shout out to Duke to go 2020. Getting really sick of this. I feel you, man. And shout out to Jarvis Lyles for the 99 cent super chat. Appreciate you all. And shout out to Didi Bolton for becoming a member on the YouTube channel here. Becoming a full-time supporter of the channel. And as I'm looking at the chat, listening to the coaches and listening to everything, I completely agree with everything everybody's saying. And I'm not going to take an emotional approach, but I'm looking at it from a schematics point, man. If we don't shore up this left tackle position, that's going to be our Achilles heel. That was the root of the fall today. I mean, you look at the momentum, how things shifted. It came from the weakness at their left tackle position, and neither one of those guys was able to get in and get a rhythm established. They will make a good play and make 3 bad plays, and it was just a massacre. And even the early miscues, we saw that get cleared up. I don't know what changed in the second half. It was uncharacteristic of even this team's character. We've always been able to be some type of show some type of composure. And it seemed like we lost composure, maybe not in the penalty wise, but just the execution level of things. And the left tackle position got highlighted today. And people are going to key that until we figure out an answer there. And I thought we had figured out an answer. If you follow me on Twitter, I thought we figured out an answer when we were calling plays that work to those guys' strength. We were running off the left side, running in between the tackles, running that the guys that can't, those 2 guys, they're not great pass pro guys. Now, when they have their one-on-ones, they're creating time for Milroe, but the inconsistency, man, is just bothersome at this point in the game. And I told you I wouldn't start to get critical of this team until week 6, week 7, because that's when you should know what you're capable of. And we know what the identity of this team is. And like you said, Coach Jay, why do we evade the identity of this team? And that's the run game. Why do we evade the identity in points and times where we can really control the momentum and keep the momentum? Why do we evade the run game? And it confuses me. And like I said, I'm a progressive thinker, but it's to the point where even progressive thinking has you saying, you show your cards, you show yourself, you can only show your cards so many times before somebody starts taking you for what you have. So my boy Jonathan Bowden, shout out to you, $4.99 for the super chat. I'm pissed that Iowa didn't out recruit us. You know who I'm talking about. He gets blown up and ran around every play. He's going to get Jalen hurt, number 74. Hey, man, I think a lot of people are starting to doubt this kid, but y'all got to remember, this is a true freshman we're talking about. This is, at this point, it's a coaching error at this point, and I think Coach Sean would definitely agree with me. You either leave him there and grow with the bumps and bruises and adjust your play calling to not allow his weaknesses to be exposed on a consistent basis, or you pull him and try somebody else that has the experience. If he was in a battle, Pritchard was in a battle with him, you got to start Pritchard and let Pritchard run that game. You got to let him go through his growth, because it's not going to happen. You keep subbing these guys. Let's jump into the meat of this, y'all. 24-6 coming into the half, correct? Did we score in the second half?
We scored 3 points, which should have been a touchdown on that third and short when we ran the football almost 70 yards down the field.
Right.
But yeah,
and
we had
So we get into the meat of it. Our defense was playing lights out until we started relying too heavily on the play call, the pass game. Coach Jay, what do you feel like we was forced into the pass game, or what do you feel like led to us going into that play calling style in the second half?
I can't tell you. I honestly have, like, last game I could tell you. This game I have no clue because literally in that our most successful drive rushing the football, because we didn't really run the football that well in the first half. That second half we came out. All of our running backs prior to that were averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and the worst one was Justice Haynes, who was averaging 5.5 yards per carry. Everyone else had averaged 10 yards per carry. So I have no idea why he decided to go away from it. Jalen Milroe was struggling to hit intermediate throws all night, all afternoon,
the whole day,
the entire day. Struggled to hit intermediate throws. So your only success, Tyler Booker, Seth McLaughlin, that's your hot hand. Literally your hot hand. The majority of your run successes came from that right side. So why did they decide to go away from it? I can't tell you. I honestly have no clue why I don't know what sort of maybe he was keying in on certain matchups that he liked, that he thought, our receivers are getting open, or maybe we're running 12. I like some of our matchups with Nye Black in there, but I can't tell you why they decided. I mean, they literally had 100 yards rushing in that third quarter. Third quarter alone was 100, and they decided to go away from it. I can't. When you're up 24-6, my quarterback at that point, because he missed one incompletion, was 7 for 11 for 200 yards in the first half. Mm-hmm. And you decide to go away, and you decide to say, you know what, let's just allow Arkansas's pass defense to gain confidence. Because Landon Jackson was, you said it before, Coach, was killing Elijah Pritchett and Caden Proctor.
And he's a good kid, but he's not great. Like I said in the chat, he's a solid guy. You get what I'm saying? He's a solid guy, but he's not. He was looking like Will Anderson. He was looking like JJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? The way he was just the hammer fist. But continue, man. Before you continue, I wanted to support your point there with the rushing yard average. You got Jace McClellan 5.2, Roydell Williams 9.7, Jam Miller 10 yards per carry. Justice Haynes with his 2 carries 5.5. So, like, to your defense, why do we go from that? How do you look at your charts at halftime and see the averages? Your quarterback 7-11, but your run game is what's carrying this. How do I not go into the second half, call it 70-30 run pass differential? You get what I'm saying? Run pass ratio.
It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, we Landon Jackson's gonna be a first round prospect. Notice how almost every single like Texas game, Ethan Downs literally was a projected first round pick after that game was over by Walter Camp and a lot of these NFL scouts. Has not done a thing ever since. The South Florida pass rusher, not really a pass rusher, he was a corner. First round was projected to go as a late first round pick after that game was over by a lot of these famous mocks by like Draft Network and Walter Camp. Has not done a thing ever since. We are legit making people turn into first round prospects playing against our left tackles because of our name and our brand image. No one had Landon Jackson as a first round draft pick. Watch what happens tomorrow. And I guarantee you he's going to be there for a long time because guess what? He's 6'7", 258 with a long wingspan. Mm-hmm. And he's not the quickest dude. He's a poor man's version of AJ Epinesa. Trust me, I've watched AJ Epinesa. I've studied that dude since high school. He's a poor man's version of AJ Epinesa. He's not the quickest. He's not the fastest. He doesn't have the greatest technique. But against our Alabama offensive linemen, more specifically our left tackles, we made him look like the second coming of what's his name? Bruce Smith. Made him the second coming look like Bruce Smith. So right. This was absolutely. I can't. To go to your initial question, I can't wrap my head around why we decided to go away from the run game. When it was working, you had 100 yards rushing alone in the third quarter, and you go away from it when you're up by 17 points against, and your defense is killing them. They have all the momentum is in your favor, but because we decided to keep giving Arkansas opportunities by keep going 3 and out, and our defense has no time to breathe. It was going to take one mistake to allow that team to get life. just like how we did against Texas A&M, just like how we was able to do against Texas. Now, Texas, we kept giving them opportunities. And
right.
one thing that I keep highlighting is we cannot keep giving our defense don't stop giving them disadvantages to work with. Keep giving them advantages. Keep giving them momentum to work with. And we keep going away from it. We keep going away from the game plan. Coach, I'm sorry I'm taking the majority of the time away.
You good, brother. You good.
I cannot wrap my head around what we decided to do with the game plan. I can't.
So I'm going to coincide with you, man. My thing is, it'll be a difference if we have 6-minute drives and then we punting or, getting stopped. And then we're forcing them to go and drive the length of the field. But this is like 8-yard drives, 11-yard drive, a negative 40-yard drive. I think those were the 3 drives where we punted back to back. So I'm definitely right there with you. Coach Sean, a lot of people are giving Jalen Milroe a lot of slack because of his performance standing behind his offensive line. Now, I think we can all agree, majority of the game, other than the left tackle, the offensive line was pretty efficient. They were inconsistent, but in moments where we needed, we could say they stood up, they held the protection on the big plays. They did what they had to do. Milroe's progression. How would you evaluate him right now at this point in time in the season where he's, he should have a kind of like a stronghold on this offense, and even if the play calling hasn't been to his favor, how do you feel? Where do you feel like he's at right now?
My only complaint with Jalen, I don't have no complaints with Jalen. My only complaint with Jalen is he is inaccurate as hell on the intermediate throws. Just what it is. I mean, I'm just gonna call it what it is, bro. I like Jalen. He the best quarterback for this team, but I see why the play calling is what it is, and to a degree, I understand what Tommy was trying to do in the second half. To a degree.
Yeah.
Now it looks good. It looks good if it's working. It looks good.
You got to cut it at some point, though.
Yeah, you got to cut it at some point. That's what I was saying in the beginning. After you come out on second half and you go 3 and out for the 3rd time, you got to get back to your bread and butter. I understand what he was doing because it was a point in time where Arkansas was dropping 8. The middle of the field was wide open. Right?
Yes, sir.
An average quarterback, above average quarterback on intermediate routes, 15 to 20 yards would have hit those easy peasy lemon damn squeezy. That's just what it is. Bottom line is, once you see that we can't function like that, you're losing continuity on the offense. You're going 3 and out. Your defense is over here in a fight for their lives, and this team has just scored on you. Right? At that point, you got to get back to your bread and butter. But this is what happens, guys. After you go 3 and out 3 or 4 times, the offense goes cold. You lose rhythm. You lose continuity. It's hard just to turn it back on like that, right? It's what Coach Jay said. When you come out the second half and you blood in their nose like that, man, you got to stick with that. This is why I was so pissed off at the Mississippi State game. Everybody just kept saying, some of the fans, 40 points. I didn't see it that way at all. I saw us score 31 points, 17 of those off turnovers, and we didn't do nothing else the entire second half, just like this game. Now, was that play calling? Was that missing plays that were there? Was that offensive line? It was a multitude of all 3, if you want the truth. And for me, we know Caden. Caden's a young kid. I'm not going to get on Caden. I'm going to tell you why. Because Pritchard, to me, didn't play no better. I've seen 3 drives where Pritchard did okay, did well. He came back in at 113 in the second quarter, and the guy ran right by him. And the difference is to me, twice, 2 times. And for me, the difference is when I watch Caden Proctor, to me, Caden Proctor, his kick, I text the coaches this. When he's in pass pro, it's almost like he's not getting enough depth on his pass set. It's like his back foot he isn't getting any depth whatsoever. And once the defender bends and gets on his upper side shoulder, he tries to push the guy past the quarterback. Well, Jalen Milroe is not a quarterback that steps up in the pocket. He just stands there and try to run away. So that's going to turn into a sack, right?
Yep.
They teach those guys, the guy beat you, push him upfield. They teach that. Caden does that. But in our instance, we don't have a quarterback that steps up in the pocket amongst the traffic and looks to throw the ball. If he steps up, he's trying to take off. So the thing about it is, Caden is getting beat on fundamental things, right? He's lazy with his pass set. I don't want to say lazy. He's underdeveloped in his pass pro set. You know what I mean? And then which coincides with lunging. Once the guy gets on your upper side and he gets a chance to bend, then Caden is beaten. He's beaten on that side. With Pritchard, to me, when the ones he got beat on, that guy's feet was still in the mud. The guy was already around him at hike. The guy was around him. So for me, man, the left tackle spot is a very, very, very weak link in our offense. But I won't put it all on that, man. I not me. I respect what the coaches say because they're right too. But what I seen was totally different. I seen guys running, walking back to the huddle. I seen on third down, going to fourth, guys trotting casually off the fourth. To me, I know what that body language means. I seen dudes yawning on the sideline when they was show the sideline. I seen that mean them dudes just ready to get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? We're not interested in this game. You will lose focus, man. And a bad team will creep up on you and beat you. This is what I said during the Mississippi State game. I was so upset by that. I was satisfied, but I was upset in the same instance. Great teams don't lose focus, man. Now, a fan may say, well, how do we play so well against Texas A&M on the road? It's easy to stay focused on the road. It's easier to stay focused on the road than it is to play at home at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's just easier. When you're on the road, you're constantly on edge, man. You're constantly making adjustments. You're constantly into it. The crowd is going crazy. It's a hostile crowd, so you don't lose focus. When you're at home,
you're comfortable.
You got a 24 to whatever it was lead. It's 10 to get a little yawn in every once in a while. It's easy for a not a great team to lose focus in that instance. But see, guys, that's where the differences is in the great teams and the good teams. The great teams, you never lose focus, man. The score is always 0-0 because you see within 2 series the game can change. Momentum, the game can change like that. So that is what's been my the bane of my existence with this offense dating back to God knows when. I do not like how we'll come out and we'll find something that works. And the other team hadn't adjusted to it. They hadn't adjusted to it, right? And we just completely go away from it. We completely go away from it. We allow these guys to get back in the game. We get mad at defense because they finally gave up a touchdown. No, man, you cannot go. I'm going to end with this. You cannot. This is the SEC. This is the SEC, guys. You cannot go 3 and out over and over and over and punt and punt and punt and just expect your defense to save you every time. This is why I said I don't like the inconsistency of our offense from Mississippi State till now.
And let me tell you, I think we've all been kind of on this train of consistency. That's one thing I as positive as I am, as progressive, forward thinking as I am when it comes to this team, one thing I know for a fact, without consistency, you're going to get caught slipping. And it happened last year because you had the tools, you had the assets, you just were inconsistent. And it happened the year before. You had the tools and the assets. Same with, people talk about the national championship we lost to Georgia and say, we lost Mechie and J-Mo. My thing is the inconsistency because I saw Jai Hall, making plays early in the season or getting open on plays. He just was not in there. Who else was the slot receiver that year? It wasn't Slade. Was it Slade Bolden?
No, he was gone.
When
Slade gone. I know Brooks was in the game then. Brooks was playing.
Yeah, Brooks was in the game, but Bolden had to be there because he was like the number 3 guy.
He might have.
J-Mo Bolden and
might have.
Yeah,
because he caught a touchdown that year. He caught a touchdown in the end zone, remember? On a little short route.
So I mean, like it's just teams. I'm seeing characteristics, like you said, Coach Sean. It's just things you don't like to see. And I told y'all, man, this Arkansas team, whenever we have to play them early afternoon after a big game, man, it's like they know how to just pick and poke and stick around and make things look worse than what they are. But today, the things I saw from the left tackle, man, and I ain't, like you said, I'm real light on Proctor. I know how difficult it is to play left tackle at the SEC level, at the college level anyways. But at the SEC level, when you're talking about you're possibly going to see possible first round draft pick 6-7 weeks out of the 12 weeks you're in the regular season, you're going to see first round talent. And so it's tough for a true freshman. Before I continue and finish my statement, man, let's get to these super chats. We got them running up right now. Shout out to my boy Jarvis Lyles. He came in, he said Tommy Reese is horrible at play calling. Simple. Appreciate the super chat. Drew Dunlap 499 says Jermaine Burton is a really good player, but he will end up costing us if he doesn't stop talking. Hey, I didn't see him talking much today, man. I seen him staring the dude down. You can call that as a taunt. I feel like that's just football. High Power TV said Milroe got to use his athleticism more. When the pocket collapses, he's folding too much under pressure. I get he's playing it safe, but those sacks are costly. We'll dive into that. I was leading into that point. Why not chip block for the left side?
Can't do that every time.
Key's penalty was a selfish penalty. Shout out to Joe Jones for the 1999 super chat. And then my boy Kramer 3112-199 super chat says preach SPH. And I was leading into the where's this super chat at right here? Milroe getting out of the pocket and using his athleticism. So I highlighted it early, guys. I see how comfortable Milroe is trying to get early. I think he's knows how important it is for him and that offensive line to establish a rhythm. And I saw that early in the first half. Saw it in the play calling. My thing was in the second half on that first drive, Milroe, take off. This is not the same. You got to reestablish that identity, reestablish or reimpose that identity by sticking to what's been working. Forcing the guys to respect your legs in the first half is what opened up that offense with the run game. Continue to use it. I felt like he kind of came off of that. And yeah, you're protecting the ball, but you're losing yards. You're losing momentum. You're causing us to get in positions where we can't trust you to throw the intermediate route because you're going so accurate. You're throwing guys high, about to get guys' heads taken off. So at this point in the season, man, we really have to just stick to our guns and understand this is a run-first team. We have to be a run-first team in order to open up the downfield passing game. Our downfield passing game may be our strongest point, may be our biggest point. Somebody got some noise in the background with a TV or a plane.
That's a plane. I think that's a plane.
Yeah. Okay, I was about to say, but yeah. So at some point in the season, guys, you got to come to a point where you're just saying, okay, this is what our guns is, and find out how to scheme that in multiple ways. I would have loved to seen Tommy Reese extend our run game again. What I've been asking for, extended run game, the quick screens. We did not use the quick screen game tonight. We did not use it. I want to see a halfback screen where it's actually guards pulling out and, allow Milroe to backpedal and do the dump passes. He's shown that he has touch on his passes when he's comfortable, when it's clean. But when he has to throw guys open, that is my biggest concern with Milroe right now. To your point, Coach Sean, that throwing receivers open in the intermediate, that's what made Tua and Mac Jones being able to throw into windows, not just because it's the open window, but yeah, he was open in the first window, but the second window, if I throw him into the second window, it's breaking. It's breaking for another 40 yards. So I would love to see him challenge himself and see that coaching staff challenge him and point those things out on the field, because people are going to give up the middle of the field. They see he's not trying to hit the middle of the field right now. They're going to give up the middle of the field. He's not confident letting that ball go when it's supposed to be a lot of bodies, but people are literally leaving the field open, and he's making great passes in tight coverage, making some outer boundary passes. But I would love to see him expose and utilize the middle of the field because the looks are there. And jump over to the running backs, man. Like we talked about it in the opening statements, but this running back room is looking like it's deep and it's quality depth. I mean, I see everybody in the chat, they like to call for justice and all that, but I feel like you get positive. You getting something with each running back. You're gonna get some type of positivity with each running back. Coach Jay, how do you assess the running back play today? Like, even in pass pro, I saw Jace McClellan step up and take on a big block in a blitz, a 6-man pressure. So how do you assess this team today as far as the running back room?
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought the running backs were the best group tonight. They were spot on. They were really good in pass protection. When the holes were opening up, they were able to just absolutely explode through it. That's exactly what you expect your running backs to do. And again, I was proud of these guys, especially Jam Miller. He's been kind of, again, it's been a tough season for him so far. So to see that he was able to establish and get us some big runs and continue to drive was great. Rodell Williams had a big 37-yard game, but you saw the toughness and the overall explosiveness of Rodell Williams. And then, Justice Haynes, he had a run for 10 yards. He had a couple carries. One was like for 10 yards. But you saw tonight why Justice Haynes, again, even in that little 10-yard run, I mean, like I said, it's just, that kid, he's going to be a good one. He's going to be a good one for sure. But Jace had all combinations, great pass protector, can explode through with acceleration, great vision, overall physicality. I mean, Jace McKellen, I thought had a spectacular game. And it's just my only problem with the run game was the fact that we just did not lean towards it. When that is your moneymaker, when that is working for you, when you're not just building confidence, not just in the running in your rushing attack, but your offensive line, because Booker and McLaughlin on that particular drive were Rottweilers.
Yes.
These were guys that were gaining confidence all throughout that drive. And you started to see holes started to open up a little bit more. You started to see this offensive line, the communication start to play a lot more efficient. The left tackle spot, and it wasn't a problem in the run. It really wasn't even a problem in the run game. Wasn't even that much of a problem in the run game. It was just in pass protection, which is our only kind of more weakness. So why we decided to kind of lean just away from that is just it kills me. But the run game was great. I loved it. Just hopefully we can continue to stick towards it. If again, the momentum is going towards our favor next week against Tennessee.
Man, and like I want to highlight again, even last week, Milroe took a few sacks that were just, not needed to they just weren't sacks that need to be taken. But my thing is, when it comes to these stats, man, if a quarterback is scrambling out on a pass play, I don't think that should be counted against our run yards. You get what I'm saying? Our rushing yards, because you take away the 19 yards he got from sacks, we're sitting at 180 plus rushing yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? 100, almost 200 rushing yards total for the game. And it's one of those things where you're like, man, if this team could just consistently just execute and stop overthinking things, guys get and trust their technique. Like you said, Coach Sean, trust your technique when it's time to pass, bro. We can really break open as an offense. And we already know this defense is solid. We're going to jump and talk about the defense and the miscues they had. But, man, we really have an opportunity. If we don't turn it around now, we're going to find ourselves in trouble in those big games, like you said, against LSU, because Jaden Daniels is looking like a Heisman quarterback right now. And yes, they banged up at wide receiver, but they're deep at the wide receiver. They're solid at the offensive line. They're probably like seven. They probably could do a 7-man rotation at offensive line and be solid. Their defense is, they're behind the power curve, but it's always LSU. We know LSU, how LSU plays us. So not trying to look forward and look past teams, but I like Coach Sean, is that point in the season where I'm kind of like off of the progressive thinking and I'm taking it for what it is, because after 6 weeks, that's who you are at that point. You either cut some things off and fix it, or you that's where you're stuck at. And this team has to fix up that left tackle position if we want to see any type of progression or completion on the offensive side. Check this out. Shout out to my boy Don J. He said if they wanted to pass the ball while running the ball, well, at least start the second half when they not hit them in the mouth with play action. If they wanted to pass the ball while running the ball, well, at the start of the second half, then why not hit them in the mouth with play action? Oh, okay. I see. I was reading it. You didn't put no quotations in there, brother. You got to use some proper grammar around this mug when you want to comments. Appreciate that super chat, though, man. I get what you're saying, too. I expected play action pass off rip coming out of the second half. I'm not going to lie. The way we were leaning towards the pass game, I really expected us. I don't know about y'all. I kind of felt like it was like Tommy Reese. He was going to try to test the waters to see how that secondary was going to continue to cover. But he came out running the ball. It was successful. His game plan, his gameplay call. I think the first drive out of the second half was our most successful drive that half, because we were running the ball. We came out running the ball. Jace was breaking big runs. I would love to see this, like you said, consistency, y'all. Because when we're hot, when we're tempo, when we're executing, this team is unstoppable on the offensive side. One name I want to highlight, and I'm going to pass it around, and I want y'all's initial reaction. We're going to do a shotgun type reaction. Jaden Roberts' effect on the offensive line. Coach Sean.
Run game, he did outstanding.
What about pass game? Tell me what you saw.
Pass game, he gave up some plays on the inside, but didn't really hurt us too much. Didn't really hurt us. We got the ball out.
Right.
He's dumb. He's dumb. He's physical, straight up.
Yes. And that's the difference between him, Dalcourt, and even when we try Ferguson right there. It's a difference. It's a difference when you have somebody that's used to playing it. And we know Roberts was a guard. Coach Jaden Roberts, O-line. How you feeling?
Physical. No, just physical. He adds a different dimension to our offensive line, a much needed dimension to our offensive line, which is bringing back physicality. This again, Jaden Roberts was on a lot of key run plays. Again, like Coach Sean said, passing plays. We gave up some. He gave us some opportunities, some opportunities here and there. But overall wise, he's been pretty effective as a pass blocker. I think that he adds a much needed element to our offensive line that's going to make our interior better.
Right. And like you said, and we just keep talking about this offensive line and this offense. This is week 6, week 7 week 7 on the schedule. Week 8 in college football. But guys, we really need to shore up this offensive line and be consistent if we want to see some success. Jump into the defensive side. Kevin Steele, let's start at the top. You all know I like to, when it comes to defense, they take on the identity of their coordinator. They usually take on the identity of, their coordinator. However that coordinator thinks, that's what you usually see play out on the field when you talk about executing. Not many defensive penalties today. I think we had two defensive penalties. One, Caleb Downs, pass interference, and then I think it was like a defensive face mask or something.
Yeah, that was Jalen Key.
That was the big penalty. But even Caleb Downs pass interference, man, turn your head and you make an interception. I think he was surprised at how in phase he was. That's why he didn't turn his head. He was just, he didn't expect that guy to climb. But defensive wise, Kevin Steele, play calling. How satisfied were you all, Coach Jay? How satisfied were you all with the play calling style, the way we defended KJ Jefferson and his Arkansas offense, who was missing, by the way, their number one running back.
Sanders.
And I think they were missing a left tackle or something like that. Somebody or left guard. One of the offensive linemen from the left side were missing their starter. So how do you feel about this defense and the play calling we saw tonight?
I thought it was solid. I thought the first half was perfect. I would even say before the big play happened, I thought the game plan for Kevin Steele was really, really solid. I think that's consistency. If there's one side of our defense on the ball that I would definitely sit up here and say that was definitely a little bit more consistent, it was the defensive side, because we stayed aggressive. We stayed aggressive. Of course, there was some series and there was some, a couple formations here and there that we kind of let off the gas. We let off the foot off the pedal, but I think that was kind of more panic mode. I think for Kevin Steele more than anything. But besides that, no, I think that we were a lot more consistent. I think that we kind of stayed a little more aggressive. We got to kind of figure out kind of Trezmen Marshall a little bit. I think Trezmen Marshall in pass coverage is just not.
It's non-existent, bro. It's non-existent.
He's a liability. He's just not a great factor. Now, of course, as a pass rusher and a guy that can defend a run, oh yeah, all day long. You can put him off the edge. If you want to rush him on the inside, that's fine as well. But he, as an inside linebacker, a guy that has to play as 3-down territory, give me Jahad Campbell. Give me somebody with the speed and the athleticism and the range that can literally cover his area fast and effective. Like give me him, or give me Quindarius Robinson. Give me one of those two guys. Besides Trezmen Marshall, who was just going to be a liability in that factor. But no, I thought our defense played pretty nice. You can tell that we missed Malachi Moore, especially in that second half. I thought that definitely showed.
Check my Twitter.
It definitely showed. It definitely showed. But no, overall wise, again, we gave up a couple touchdowns. We finally gave up a touchdown for 70 yards. We haven't given up. We haven't given that up since not even the Mississippi State game. We haven't given that up in 2 or 3 games. Mm-hmm. So we finally gave up a long drive for 70 yards or plus. But overall wise, the majority of the success was literally screen plays and broken plays. That was it. It was screens and broken plays. Of course, they had some draws. I thought that was actually really good play calling, but to kind of counterattack what Kevin Steele was trying to do. But overall wise, no, I thought the game plan was solid. I thought that we stayed a lot more consistent as far as what we've been doing the entirety of the season. I just thought that for the most part, Arkansas had a lot more opportunities, and they finally found an answer because we kept giving their offense opportunities, our offense kept giving them opportunities for them to kind of expose what we were doing the best. And that's what happens, man, when their offense is on the field for that long. It wasn't in spite because really that much of the defense. It was because our offense kept giving them opportunities after opportunity instead of putting the game away. I would like to see Jalen Key not make that play. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm not going to sit up and say that I'm particularly mad at it because it's football. right? It's physicality. It was after the play's over. They're both fighting on the sideline. You can make an argument the Arkansas player should have been called for unnecessary roughness too. But it was just a response, and he got caught. It's a part of the game. If that's not called, that's 3 and out. We get the ball back, and we have another opportunity to put we were literally a series away from putting the game away. From them not even making a comeback or not even make this game even competitive. It was just unfortunate that it was called on us. So I'm not going to sit up here and just blame Kevin Steele for allowing them to get back into the game, because the offense, that's Tommy Rees's responsibility to put that game away, and Jalen Milroe and their offense, that's their responsibility to put the game away. But defensively, I thought that they were solid. I can rely upon this unit. It's just the offense what I'm just worried about.
Right. I'm going to be so completely blunt with this statement. Kevin Steele is the difference in this Alabama team.
He is.
He is the difference. What we have right now, a 6-1 record, is completely because of Kevin Steele and what he's brought, the mentality he's brought back to this defensive side. Yes, we still have small miscues, but this mentality that's starting to creep back into the Alabama locker room, especially on the defensive side, is definitely Kevin Steele. I didn't see Jalen Key get toe up for the play he made. I didn't see him get torn into by anybody on that coaching staff. I saw players kind of like checking him, making sure, pull off, don't get kicked out the game type stuff. But I didn't see nobody fussing at him but yes, it was a stupid penalty. But like you said, that's football, man. You know how many times offensive linemen are down on the ground, pushing each other's heads into the ground and poking each other in the nose and like crazy stuff and get up, and got to push each other and fight. Like, that's football. So yeah, those calls were crazy. But like you said, Marshall, we gotta get Campbell out there. And a lot of people say Marshall is better than Campbell. I don't necessarily think. Campbell is better than Marshall. I don't think he's necessarily better. I think for whatever the offense presents, you're more prepared with a guy like Campbell because you're not limited to what he can do. He can cover. He can run gap fit. He can blitz. Now, what Marshall can do effectively and consistently is get to the quarterback when he's on assigned blitzes. That's what he can do. He can create chaos in the run game. Not necessarily an edge run game, perimeter run game, but any inside type run teams, I would like Marshall in there. I like him in that rotation. But like you said, to see the consistency and getting beat on the swing routes and the wheel, and oh man, it hurts. It hurts. But I will say Kevin Steele and where he's at right now, the play calling is definitely allowing us to continue to grow as a team in general. Coach Sean, to get off of Kevin Steele and the play calling, highlight some of the areas you saw, across any position group across the defense that you saw that was just like flawless today.
Tim Keenan. Keenan might be the only guy I seen today that was completely flawless.
Hold on, Coach Sean. Before you finish your statement, I didn't want to give you this question to say, how your boy Tim Keenan, because I knew you was. I wanted to see y'all see what I be trying to do. I didn't want to give it to him easy. I said, let me see if I can make him
to me Tim is playing just as well as anybody on that defense for what his job is. And if I can take the other side of it just for a good debate, I disagree with the Campbell and Trez thing. I will agree with Coach J that I think Campbell is a much better athlete and a much better for the two teams we played here recently. I think Campbell fits better. He don't get beat in coverage like that. He's not out of position over the middle of the field like that. I do think Campbell is a better athlete, but for the teams we got coming up, well, I know for this one team we got coming up, I'd rather have Trez in there because this team's coming up leads the SEC in rushing and they run off tackle a lot. I'd much rather have Trez in there, against Tennessee because he's the thumper of the bitch. But I do agree with Coach J and you that I think Campbell may be a better all-around linebacker, but I think Trez's strong point is the team that we about to play Saturday. Yeah. For me, man, it's a lot of things, bro. I see a couple of fans. I don't remember which ones it was. I think it was Roll Tide, somebody, and talking about bashing the team. Listen, guys, to all the fans that don't understand, man, let me respectfully say, if we're telling you things we see that will get us beat against better teams, I don't understand how that's bashing the team. We love the team. You know what I mean? We enjoy the team. But I can't sit here. None of us can sit here and act like everything is rosy red petals and we're going to the national championship next Thursday. We are not a championship team at this point. We're just not. And if you think we are, then you kind of clueless. You
This first half team could win a national championship. That first half Bama team.
Facts, Coach Smokey. If the national championship is for first half play, we going tomorrow.
Or half.
Right?
If it was a half a game, we national champs already, bro.
Facts, man.
Every game for real, except USF. You know.
So when you see us going over things that we see, it's not us bashing the team, guys. It's us bringing up points that I can guarantee you the coaches are saying the same thing to them in a much different way, right? So don't confuse us as having great content about the game as us bashing the team. And shout out to all the fans that understand that, right? So for me, I can't even say anything about the defense other than they played great. I have nothing bad to say about the defense whatsoever. Nothing. Only one thing, if I had to pick one thing, we got to learn how bigger quarterbacks, we got to grab them dudes around the waist, around the leg. We can't grab them high in arm tackle. Facts, guys that outweigh us by 40 pounds. You know, we got to get these guys on the ground. You stop the legs, you stop the body. You know what I mean? So other than that, man, I don't have anything bad to say about the defense at all. The headache for me was the offensive side of the ball and the second half play calling, coupled with obviously the offensive line. I want the fans to hear me on this. What is this, game 6?
Yeah, we're going in game 8 right now. No, we're 6-1, so we're going in.
So this is so we've played 7 total games. I don't even know the number, but I can almost guarantee you we've given up over 24, 25 sacks. I would have to say. I don't know what the number.
We gave up 5 sacks tonight, 5 sacks today. So
good night.
I think it put us at 31 total sacks tonight.
31 total sacks. I want everybody to remember this. When Landon Dickerson then was here, I think we gave up 31 the whole year, right?
No, we gave up 24 sacks the whole year.
Sacks, okay, 24 sacks the whole year. And the thing about it is this, man. 7 games and you give up 30 plus sacks. Good Lord. That's got to be one of the worst offensive line plays in the nation. I'd be willing to bet we're somewhere in the bottom half of offensive lines on pass pro in the nation.
Hey, Coach
Last time I saw we went to 120. We were 120, so we probably went down to this.
Hold my beer, guys. Hold my beer. Last year, at this point in time, going into the 8th game of the season, guess how many sacks we had with Bryce Young at quarterback?
How many?
34.
Wow.
So, guys, this is what I'm saying. Like, at some point, we got to understand that when we leave the run game, when we leave our bread and butter, it is not good for it. It allows teams to look better than what they are against our teams. There are very few teams that match up talent-wise across the board against us when we talk about the offensive side. Defensively, we know we are stacked. But offensively, we have people that can create mismatches, but you have to be smart enough to lean on what's your bread and butter. And Tommy Rees, I gave Tommy Rees a B plus A minus in the first half, man. That offense was just like he was setting up the run game. He was doing pre-snap motion. He didn't get a lot of perimeter run game, but what he was calling the run game and then the way he was setting the pass game up was what I would like to see throughout the rest of the season. But then you come out in the second half, and like we said, that just bothers me. But to his defense, looks were there once again. Looks were there. Milroe missed 3, maybe 4 big passes where he was either late, threw it behind the receiver, or just didn't throw the guy open. You get what I'm saying? So,
or didn't see the check down wide open.
Check was there again. Coach J, I could hear Coach J in my freaking in my head on that the second drive coming out of in the second half.
Kellen wide open on the check.
Wide open. Then why motion? Jalen, if we're gonna motion the guy, the running back out to the flats, out to the swing. At least look there first.
I put that in my notes. He don't even look over there. That's facts.
He don't even look, and that's why that's why the DBs. The first time when he beat them on that play, it was because they started motion. They didn't even care if he looked or not. But I guarantee you, somebody up in that Arkansas booth said, "Hey, don't worry about the motion out. He's not even looking out there. Make sure you don't give up nothing over top." And that's exactly what they did.
Coach Smoot, you or Coach J explain to the fans how the more games you play, the more film you have, and they'll know what to hit you with and what not to hit you with.
Prime example, Oklahoma versus Texas. Quinn Ewers' performance versus Oklahoma was literally 5-6 weeks of he had great film that he had to put out against us. He had great film that he had to put out against Rice because he had to pull out that win. And then they played another game where they struggled in the first half and he had to come out and play lights out. So they had to film Oklahoma's scheme. They did not look like Oklahoma defense from the week before. That's what everybody gave a miss up. So it's going to happen with us too, Coach J.
Yep.
Oh, that's all you got. Yep. I thought you was gonna ride off that comment, man.
Oh no. I think you asked me a question. No, I agreed. I mean, dude, Arkansas made adjustments. So I was saying, you know what, just like you just said, ignore what Jalen's doing because we all know he's not gonna. I'm telling you, there's going to be a team that's going to prepare for saying, you know what, ignore the check. Just ignore the check because Jalen's not even going to look that way. Jalen has one read, and if that read's not there, he's late on his read. He's late on his progressions reads all the time. Ignore that check. The only way we'll adjust to that is if you, which by the way, Jalen Milroe completed one pass, which was in the second half to the check down in the late fourth quarter. It was one time where he finally looked at Jace and said, oh, okay, my first read's not there. Let me just look at the check. Oh, there's Jace right there. Let me try to get a set, pick it up, avoid the defender, get a 7-yard gain.
And it was still late,
5 times,
though.
guys. 5 times. And it was still late. He should have threw it earlier. But 5 times I counted. And there's probably more if I go back and watch the game that Jace McKellen or Rhoda Williams was wide open right there in the flat. And he's not even looking towards that direction. He has got to do a better job of going through his progressions and getting off that first read as quick as possible. Because I'm telling you, there is going to be a team that's not going to buy into the crap of saying, that's going to buy into the motion. That's because they, at this point, we all know Jalen, he's got an arm. He's got a cannon. He's accurate when he's throwing that deep ball. And how he's doing it is because they're underestimating what Jalen Milroe can do. They're underestimating his ability because they don't believe that he can deliver these passes. Now all of a sudden there's film work that he can deliver these passes. They're going to be a little bit more conservative, but they're also going to take a look at that film and saying, okay, well, he's not getting off of this as quick as possible. So how are we allowing him to get over the top of us? The receivers are not killing us. They're not really doing anything too spectacular. Let's make adjustments and let's see if Jalen Milroe can beat us in this manner.
Yeah. And
so far, he has not shown that ability to do that.
We know what's crazy. You go back and you look at the passes he made against Ole Miss. Those were intermediate freaking crossers. They weren't the deep corners. Those were literally 15, 25 yard. That to me, that's intermediate for that type of pass concept. This guy, man, today Milroe just in the second half, he wasn't setting his feet on those middle routes, those crossers. Anything coming across his face, he was not setting his feet. When you are accurate passer, meaning like that means you could throw at every level accurately, you can kind of be off platform and make those funny throws. Milroe has not proven himself to be able to do that, and I feel like he's getting into that. He's stuck in the middle of being athletic and trying to be a quarterback in the wrong times. Like when you go with the play, if you're gonna be a quarterback, if it's not there, throw it away. If you're gonna go into that play being an athlete, be an athlete. You get what I'm saying? Be an athlete. If your first read, you're comfortable reading out there, use your legs. And it was opportunities for him to do that and maintain that momentum. And like you, Coach Sean, you were alluding to something earlier. The mentality of a team can change based off of every play. So the moment that Arkansas saw that Jalen Milroe was not going to rely on his legs, even when the hole is there, even their QB spot was hesitant to freaking pressure him. They were forcing him to try to. They were what they call shadowing on the line of scrimmage. They were not pressing the line of scrimmage. They was sitting at 3 to 5 yards deep off of the line and just shadowing left and right.
Totally different than Texas A&M.
Because Texas A&M, they were committed to just going ahead and committed to him. Once he leaves the pocket, commit to him.
Tell them, Coach Smook, explain to the people out there, how does that open up game? In other words, the difference in Texas A&M, the difference in Arkansas, why Jalen Milroe will have great success against Texas A&M and not Arkansas.
So the reason why he had A&M because they were aggressive in pressing the hole. If you're not going to be aggressive and spy and not press the hole, the quarterback has to make him respect that. Because guess what? If they're giving it to you 9 times, the first 3 or 4 times you take it, you get 7 to 12 yards off of that or 6 yards, whatever. That has the potential to make either safety, whether strong side or weak side, they're looking to assist on that QB spy. And that's how you get the play action pass open. People talking about run the ball, get the play. Well, guess how else you can run the ball? When you call a pass play and the hole is open and your first read's not there, take it, Jalen. That's how you walk it down so you can stick to your strengths. And it's simple as that. It's simple as that. But respect what we do. Respect what I do. I can burn anybody on this field at any time with my legs. Give me a lane. I promise you, nobody on this field is catching me. That's Jalen Milroe's mentality. It should be his mentality. And in that moment, he has to be able to do that. He has to be able to do that. Coach Jay, something you highlighted about the secondary. We haven't given them boys too much criticism today. I think they played a decent game, solid game in spots. I want to see better coverage from Trey Amos, and I would definitely want to see Kool-Aid step it up. Not only in coverage, but punt return. Why are you back there if you're not going to field a punt? And I want your reaction to that. Like, even our special teams play solid, but that small stuff like that. Tell the people what you were alluding to when you were talking about that, just the importance of the execution on the special teams level, in particular with Kool-Aid. And what is your insight on where he's at right now?
We kept giving them free field position because Kool-Aid was just afraid to just take punts. The first punt where I think they fielded it inside the 5-yard line, that's on Kool-Aid, because Kool-Aid that was plenty of airtime. That's plenty of opportunity for Kool-Aid to try to field that ball. But because he's a little bit too afraid that he's not going to get there, he decides to let that ball go. And what should have ended up being a 30-yard punt the ball ended up bouncing, I think, 20 yards down the field, and it ended up inside the 5. Like, what are you doing? Why? I have no idea why he's not fielding these punts. Maybe because I think the coaches got into him. Maybe because, again, he, when he does catch the ball and he's trying to field it, he does like to showboat a little bit too much. He likes to do the little high step or whatever, or whatever he tries to do. But at some point, man, you can't keep giving up free field position for Arkansas, because that makes it makes it tougher for us to drive down the field on the offensive side of the ball. Because guess what? If their defense gets key stops, then guess what's going to happen? Then our defense has to work way short of the field, because as good as a punter as Burnup is, again, if we keep giving them free space, he keeps getting these 50-yard punts, and again, their returner had a lot of opportunities to get those yardage. Sooner or later, you could have a situation like an Anais Smith where he could potentially break one, and it's now a 20, 30, 40 yards a touchdown. But again, you can't keep putting special teams can't keep putting Kool-Aid can't keep putting us in that position, because sooner or later, if our offense can't capitalize, and again, just like how we did in the second half, how it was just punt after series, can't keep making the defense work the side of the field. So field position is extremely important. And Kool-Aid, he's got to do a better job of fielding punts. He had one solid return, which ended up going for about 11 yards. I would like to see again, it seemed like that confidence factor just was not there for the majority of those returns. He let balls go past him when he should have potentially, that was opportunity for him to either field it or at least try to get the fair catch. He decided to just play it safe, be way too conservative at times. And it just gave them free field position. That's something that you just cannot allow, because against better defenses, against better teams, they will take that all night long, all day, all night long. They will take full advantage of it, and it will be literally a nightmare. We have seen plenty of teams lose because of stuff like that happening, and that's something that I'm telling you could potentially cost us if Kool-Aid doesn't get better at returning.
I want to go back to something that I was saying earlier. It's the body language for me, not the fact that he's not fielding the punts, not the fact that, he's misjudging punts, he's muffing them, or, it's the fact that, like, even in the midst of the play it's like he has no urgency to even try and field the punt. He's trying to field punts. Like, I remember Marquise Mays, man, one of my favorite punt returners to ever come through Alabama. Him, Cyrus Jones, like, those guys would get back there and they would literally attack the ball.
Javier
Arenas was, of course, he definitely goated, but I'm talking about just the intensity they would attack the ball on the return. And yes, you have crazy punters. My thing is, I did punt return 4 times in my career as a football player out of the 9-10 years I've played in my life. You know what I'm saying? Of contact. I did punt return 4 times. And you know what I did every time? The first time, if I had more than one in the game, which was, the 4 times I returned, the first time, the punter kicked it over my head. I was at the 40-yard depth like they wanted me to. They kicked it over my head. So guess what I did? I went back out there, I measured out my 40, and I seen we was near the same field position. Using my sense as a doggone athlete, guess what I did? I gave myself a 5 to 12 yard cushion every time from that point on. I didn't just keep on letting him put the ball where he wanted to put it. I made him respect the fact that there's a punt returning back here. Even if I don't have breakaway speed, you're going to respect the fact that there's a returning back here and that you're going to have to kick a perfect kick. I'm not going to just keep going out there and lining up 45 yards down the field where I know the ball ain't going to be going. And it's just that lack of attention to detail with Kool-Aid this season has been so consistent that it's starting to worry me. You can be a great athlete all day, but you all know if you're not putting your work in mentally, if you're not locked in mentally, you can get exposed at any time. And that could be just the initial downfall. Case in point, your boy DeAndre Baker from Georgia. You seen what happened when he started getting exposed. All it took was one. Athleticism ain't gonna get you everywhere, man. You gotta put the work in. Oh, yeah, he said Eddie Jackson. Gelato, you been on one today, man. Eddie Jackson was going to that punt return too. He was sneaky though. You know what I'm saying? He had that long stride, get out on you. So we talk about the secondary. Highlights of the game, man. I know we focus on a lot of the stuff that bothers us. Let's talk about highlights. Let's circle back to the offensive side as we wind this thing down. Highlights of the game. I know we highlight the run back room, but I do want to highlight some stellar play from our wide receivers, man. Yes, there was some miscues. There was a few drops, couple of tough drops, couple of misreads. But this wide receiver room is dangerous. This wide receiver room is dangerous. And when I say dangerous, I mean on a big play standpoint, on getting them in the quick game standpoint. If you had to highlight a top receiver outside of Jermaine Burton, if you had to highlight a guy that has really just surprised you this season, who would you highlight, Coach Sean?
Outside of Jermaine Burton?
Outside of Jermaine Burton. Because I know he's the biggest surprise for some of y'all, but
yeah, I mean, for me, Isaiah don't surprise me. I knew he had the talent. I mean, really and truly, if I had to pick one person outside of those guys, it wouldn't even be a wide receiver, it'd be a tight end. It'd be either Mario or either Oots, because I knew Bonds had the talent. I was waiting on that. Burton has, coming to this season, this is it for him. So I figured he was going to try. And I'm not mad at Jermaine Burton for showing that type of, as long as Coach Saban don't say nothing, I don't have no problem with it, because, obviously he's feeling himself. Wide receivers all act like that. Y'all just don't know. They all feel like they always open. Coach Mook will tell you they always open. They always. So when you got one that's hungry like that, I don't mind him doing that. As long as we don't get no flags, as long as we don't have any type of, I don't have no problem him acting like that. Real quick, if I could, it was a guy way back up in the chat. You're probably not gonna be able to find it, Coach Mook. It was real early. His name was B-Rob. He was asking, why don't we flip JC to left and put K-Net right? If I can just that's a long answer, but I'll try to make it real 1 minute quick. Those are two different positions. I mean, don't think just because one is a tack right, they're both tackles. When I say they're different, please believe they're different. The footwork is different. The base blocking stance is different. The hand placement is different. The pass set footwork is different. You got a power foot and a catch foot. One is up, one is back on the other side. That one's up and that one's back. It's totally different to play those two positions, and you just can't flip them like that in the middle of the season.
Alley-oop real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alley-oop real quick. Just to continue on. So if just imagine, and I'm gonna pass it right back to you. Just imagine if Caden Proctor's catch foot is as weak as it is, for him to be able to kick and catch again. You can't get depth. You can't catch to balance yourself to, counter the counter. The second move in the pass rush. It would be bad. Y'all think he's bad now? It would be horrible on the right side.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible, y'all. Like, and he's solid. I ain't gonna say he's solid. He has potential. He has a lot of upside at the left side, but to go to that right side. But back to you. I'm gonna pass it back.
And guys, remember, man. If I'm just being honest, we had a gang of left tackles. Cam Robinson played early, but when Cam played here, we wasn't throwing the ball like this. We weren't, throwing the ball 90% of the time. We was powering that thing. You know what I mean? So he never had to pass block in abundance the way Caden does so early. You know what I mean? It's a totally different breed of football in 2023. The pass game is supreme nowadays in almost every level of football. So your tackles have to be very, very, very good against the pass. And the guy's young, man. I know he's having a horrible, I know we can't use that no more. Pritchard is young as well. When I say young, I mean his playing experience young. He was here, but the guy was hurt all last year, so shoulder surgery. So we don't have a top level experienced left tackle right now, and that's just what it is. So for me, that's what it is. It's going to be very, very difficult, guys. I've never seen that done in the middle of the field unless injuries forced you to do it. You just can't hop from one side of the tackle to the other side because it's a completely different position.
Right. All right, Coach Jay, we're at the part of this show where I just want to kind of engage with the comments and the chat. I don't know if you've been reading. I've been seeing some disturbing stuff. I've been seeing some enlightening things. I've been seeing some, some good takes. What have you seen that you kind of want to address, man? Like because you be having that, Coach Jay be having that look like he just seen something. He be like, I can't believe it.
There was,
he be having that look like
there was a comment. It was a comment a little bit earlier. I don't know if you're gonna find it, but there was a comment earlier on the top that was again just overall just addressing the defense and saying that how pitiful it was and Kevin Steele was bad. I'm just that it was way earlier in the show, but I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. We finally gave up. We allowed a couple scores. We gave up a touchdown, 70 yards plus, literally for the first time in 3 games, and now the defense is terrible. Now the defense is bad. It's just, it's a real reaction. I'm not gonna flip out. It is what it is.
Right.
It's just again, it's
not
just
gonna
a
go
total
crazy.
overreaction. Not gonna go crazy.
This is what they should be
I'll
worried
go
about.
crazy.
Yeah, this is what they should say, Coach Jay. If the offense don't help out the defense, man, you can't get upset with the defense when they finally break down and give up some. It's the same old song and story.
Right.
All three of us have been telling you guys all season.
Since week 2. Since week 2. Like,
what do you expect the defense to do when they went 3 and out? They right back on the field. We're not giving these guys any help. Here's what you should be worried about, though. When we play a team that can make us pay for going 3 and out, like an LSU, and if we're not careful, Tennessee.
Yeah,
those teams are offensively good enough, and Tennessee's had their struggles, but they'll get up for Alabama. Don't be fooled. They'll get up for Alabama. LSU is scoring about 40 plus a game, man. You go 3 and out on those guys. Sure, their defense is not playing well, and we'll probably be able to do what we do on them. Maybe it's at home, but I want the fans to understand this is why I'm a pessimist by nature with football, and this is why I say the truth is in the details. Those 3 and outs are dangerous, man. It's not dangerous against Mississippi State and Arkansas, but it is exceptionally dangerous against a team like LSU that has a quarterback who's feeling himself, who's probably a Heisman Trophy leader at this point. Those guys will make us pay if we go 3 and out too much. You can't ask the defense to hold that team to 17 points. The offense has to do their part as well. So that's what you should be worried about.
Right. And that was the point I was making earlier. It's not necessarily a thing with the defense not being able to get stops. It's the fact is it's a difference between going punting after a 8-minute drive and gaining positive yards, and then there's a difference in punting on a 47-second drive. There's a difference. There's a difference that you may not score, but guess what? If you getting 8-minute drives, you're going to score at some point. You're going to put that ball in the end zone because that's too long. You get what I'm saying? 8-minute drive of 6-minute drive. At one point in the first half, I think the offense, we weren't even holding the ball. It wasn't even how long we were holding the ball. It's just how decisive the play calling was. It was set up, because of how effective the run game was. And in the second half, traditionally, Alabama has came out and played clock management and run game, play action off of the run game. So I would love to get back to that. What's going on,
Coach? Think about this for a second. Just going back to Sean's original point. They had 23 plays in the first half. They had 37 plays in the second half. Like when you're on the field for that much longer, and it wasn't because, again, some of it was because of we couldn't get the third down stops, but for the most part, it was only like really 4 plays when they had to continue their drives. We kept giving up plays because our offense kept turning over the ball. It was punt, 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 punt on consecutive drives. We had one field goal in the second half. The rest of it was literally just nothing but punts. And it wasn't just long drives. It wasn't tiring drives. There were it was quick
3 and outs.
Which again, so when you add up all those plays, add up all those plays and the drives and the circumstances and the swing of momentum and the disinterest like we have for the game, that is what's going to happen. That's how Texas beat us. That's how A&M almost got us. And that's how we almost lost today against Arkansas. You can't keep putting your defense in these sort of situations because sooner or later, there's going to be an offense that I'm telling you, the longer that an offense is on the field, all that film work, all that preparation, some of the best coaches in America, they're going to eventually figure out and expose a weakness. They're going to see it.
And Josh Heupel is one of them.
Josh Heupel one of them. Listen. And I was going to get straight into that on my like final closing points. The fact that this team is consistently shutting down offenses, that is the worst place to be in. You better ask Georgia, because the year that doggone Florida almost came and upset them, it was because their offense was trash. Stetson Bennett was not moving that ball with that offense. They were going 3 and out, but everybody was talking about this number 1 rated defense. They're shutting people down. And Florida came out there and almost, just went crazy on them in the passing game. They went with the quick pass game, the screen game, the double pass, everything, because they had so much film. They saw so many tendencies. Like right now, we see tendencies in Jalen Key that if Josh Heupel gets a chance at that, he's going to expose it early, and he's not going to hesitate to expose it. You get what I'm saying? I see tendencies, even with as great as a true freshman as Caleb Downs is. He made some uncharacteristic plays today, but luckily he's in a position to where, he's not overcommitting to things that are not there. He's literally committed to actual reads. So you're going 100%. That's what I can say about this defense. But like you said, to your point, Coach Jay, we have to get these guys continue to get off. This first half, I think we forced them to what? Four straight 3 and outs, or was it 3 of them? Three straight 3 and outs. They had a first down in the second half. They only had 1 first down. It was 6 minutes in the first quarter.
5 3 and outs. Five consecutive drives of 3 and outs. The only points we gave up were field goals, which, by the way, they have a great kicker.
That boy,
a fantastic kicker.
That boy right there. That boy's got a donkey leg, boy. That boy got a donkey. Right. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. It was a question I wanted to answer y'all as a panel. He said, Alex Magnum, you had another comment earlier that I wanted to get at you about, but you came back with this one. You rebounded. You back. Okay. He said, do y'all believe we have really found our identity? I don't think we have. When are we going to see a complete performance if we do? Who wants to tackle that first? I'll go.
I will.
Go ahead.
At this point, man, I don't think it's an identity thing. I think we have the game script of what we like to do. We just, for some reason, stray from it. I think we have an identity. I really do. I think this team has an identity. But for some reason, I don't know if we get stat happy. I don't know if we get lackadaisical.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what it is, bro. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have an identity. I think we know how to win a football game. For some reason, we just stray from it for some reason. I do.
Coach Jay, go ahead. Because Coach Sean just said something I said last night. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I agree, man. And like I said, I'm cursed because this is what my Bills be doing the exact same thing as well. Just going away from the identity, going away from the run game, whatever stuff works. But no, it's just it's ridiculous at this point. I think defensively, we're getting a lot more confident. We're getting a lot more better there. And I think we're starting to establish a little bit of identity there. Offensively, I have no idea. We got it. We've seen things work. We just go away from it. And we've gone away from it in 3 games. And I have no idea why we continue to do that. I have no idea why we continue to stray from it after literally repeated instances of having success by strictly just running the ball, being a lot more balanced, using play action. We just go, but for some reason, we get a little too overconfident, and we see matchups or we see looks that we like and that we believe we can expose, and we decide to go away from it and decide to go in shotgun with Jalen Milroe, and we try to make him look like Tom Brady. Like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what we're trying to do offensively.
As an offensive coordinator and what I see from this team, I'm not making Jalen Milroe a passer unless I have to, because that's when he excels. He only excels when you have to pass, not when he wants to or when there's an opportunity to pass. Let him throw the ball when he has to. That's when he's effective, y'all. I don't know if y'all have seen the trend. I have been holding off from making this point for probably like 3-4 weeks now. Probably dating back to when we play Ole Miss. What, 3 weeks ago now? You go and look at that game. I think that was the first game everybody was talking about. We're not passing it enough. When we had to pass the ball, that boy was on point. But the run game was going. The run game was working. So why do we try to make him a passer when we didn't have to? Why do we try to go back and do that? I believe we have the identity, but this test drive phase, this sprinkling with this, sprinkling with that, this is not the team for it. They showed us that against Texas A&M. They showed us that against Mississippi State. This is not the team to test. Go with what we know. Go with your bread and butter and continue to build off of it. You get what I'm saying? And then the play calling is not necessarily my problem. My problem is how it's being placed, where it's being placed at. Because like I said, since week 2, the looks are there. There's opportunities for Jalen to make plays. He's speeding up. He's progressing a little bit in the way he's progressing it, especially in the first half. I thought we had some, you know what I'm saying? I thought he had hit it, you know what I'm saying? Because the reads he was making, how he was making them, even ones where he had pressure in his face, he was going through his reads, going through 1, 2, 3, back to 1. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see. But then to come back and some of the decision making and the lack of confidence in those intermediate throws has to get fixed. And that left tackle position has to get fixed. But definitely a mentality thing with this team, y'all, and finishing.
Coach Smook, let me address this comment when you get done, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, brother.
Ephraim Davis says, "Come on, SPH, man." I mean, I guess that was referring to when I said we did find out. Ephraim, I would like to ask.
No, he's saying he's like you on point. That's Ephraim.
Ephraim.
Yeah,
okay. I was going to ask any fan in the chat that disagree with what we said outside the Texas A&M game, which was on the road, and we know road games can go game script. Every game we won outside of USF when Jalen didn't play, we won the same exact way. Yep. We ran the ball well. We scored points. Jalen ended up hitting a few big plays based off the run game. Texas A&M played us completely different. They sold a game script on we're going to blitz him. We're going to destroy Jalen Milroe. We'll play whatever on the back end and live with it. And Jalen excelled in that game due to it, right? We've won all of our games the same way. The running game was a factor in the games. Now, we almost lost today because we strayed away from that. But it's just like Coach Jay said earlier, when we did run the ball, we had our greatest success. We had our greatest success. For whatever reason, we chose to come out and do something completely different. But our identity is a running football team, and Jalen passing off the play action and passing at last resort. Big plays down the field, especially when you go man to man up and devote more personnel in the box to stop that run. I think we have our identity, guys. That's a fact.
Yes, sir. Hey, so and to your point, I'm always gonna run up the stats behind you when you say some real stuff, like which is like, bro, look at the teams. Today's game, we did not need to go to the pass game. We had 21 pass attempts against a team that was probably the lowest rated run defense team in the SEC right now. If we talk about statistics, they were not strong in defending the run. The games where we didn't throw the ball more than 20 times against teams that were weak against the run, Mississippi State, weak against the run. We throw the ball 12 times, put up 40. Middle Tennessee State, of course, we know. Texas, even our run game during the Texas game, they forced us to pass the ball in the second half. The Ole Miss game, we weren't forced to pass the ball in the second half, and in a successful game, controlling game, give up 10 points. So when you're controlling the clock, you're keeping a fresh, dominant defense off the field. You allow them to be out there to make big plays to cause more turnovers with the less snaps because you're pressing that other offense to make plays uncharacteristically. So it's all buying into this process. So to answer that question, have we found an identity? I can't say we have. I think the identity has been shown. The identity we need to adapt has been shown. But have we found it? Has Alabama coaching staff found it? Have they bought into it? I can't say that because there's no way you go from the run game like that in the second half if we talking about establishing an identity. That our identity was the first half. Run game, run game, pass when we'd have to. Yeah. That's our identity. That's our identity right there. And we can win a national championship like that. We can really go out and win a national championship like that. Yeah. Alex Magnum said we are a gritty team. I don't say we greedy. I say we playing down to our competition's level, and that's gonna get us a bit in the long run. Anytime you play down to a team's level, it always catch up with you because they sneak by and they show you their best potential when you're playing down at their level. I see y'all scanning the comments. I was just kind of give the chat some more time to get their last thoughts in as we bring this to a close, y'all. But hey, Don Parker, you said something also. Let me see. Where my chats, the super chats at? Here we go. Don J, here we go. He said, I understand the need to pass because you still need to have a well-balanced offense. I think we all do, but the thing is, don't make him pass if he ain't got to. He does not. Don't give him too many options.
Coach, Jalen Milroe completed 30% of his passes in the second half. He went 3 for 10.
Exactly.
At some point, like I said, I understand the urge to be a lot more balanced and to catch the defense off your toes. But if I see that my quarterback is struggling with at all levels, because all of a sudden he's struggling with the short intermediate throws, then he's struggling with the deep ball, and now he's forcing throws. He's forcing throws into potential double coverage. Now all of a sudden, at some point, you might have to think, okay, you know what? Maybe I gotta run the football. Let's try to open up the passing attack again. Let's try to open up these lanes back up, open again, because Arkansas, they figured out how to stop us. They figured out how to slow down our quarterback. Jalen Milroe, he's starting to get, he's a lot more panicky in the pocket because Caden Proctor and Pritchard are getting beat by Landon Jackson. I got to do something in order to get the confidence back of this offense. But what did we decide to do? Keep attacking with the pass until the fourth quarter, until that last drive came where we had no choice but to run the football because we had to kill the clock. It's like Tyrese didn't want to do it until it was too late. That's what's killing me. That's what's killing me. The fact that your quarterback is losing confidence, your offensive line is losing confidence, your offense is losing confidence, and you still feel like I have to attack with the passing game instead of leaning on what worked in the third quarter. They had 100 yards alone in the third quarter alone in rushing, and you went away from it when your offense is lacking confidence. That's what's killing me, and that's why I just don't understand.
And that's why I don't like to say Tommy Rees is a horrible coordinator or he ain't it, because you're showing that you have the capability. You show you have
understanding the moment.
It's understanding the moment, and that comes with time. Tommy Rees is younger than all three of us on this. Well, he older than you, Jay.
Yeah, he's older than me.
You get what I'm saying? And that's only by like 4 or 5 years, I believe. What, you 24, right?
25.
25. He only 6 years older than you, man. Y'all could have been playing against each other if you played in the up league. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So it's a process, but we're a fan base that needs to see it now because we know the moment. We know this is our moment this year. If we don't be able to take the reins and make an impact this year, talking about college, SEC West Divisional Championship, with the last year being of divisions in the SEC, this is the last year of divisional SEC play, y'all. Then we go to next year where we have, we go to the SEC championship. We win this, we could win the SEC championship. Last way it's played in this standard format, because for the next however many years, we might be seeing Georgia every year if we gonna be the top 2 teams with the top 2 conference records. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta appreciate this. Before you go, Sean, I'm gonna call out John Parker for this super chat. Don Parker with the $5 super chat. Winning games and beating the teams are 2 completely different things. That starts with what is between the ears and heart. 100,000%. Go ahead, Coach Sean.
Wingate World Unlimited says, heard you, SPH, but can Bama win a championship with this? I don't think so. I'll say this, Wingate. We can win a championship if we stick to what works. If we don't try to be something we're not. The experiment is over. Like Coach Smoot said, you are what you are. I think we can win a championship running the football, Jalen Milroe playing complementary football, and the defense playing the way they're playing. I sure do. I think we can win every game. But if we go out there and try to turn Jalen into Peyton and we in 3rd and 15 every game, we'll lose to Tennessee and LSU, both, because we can't play that way. Mississippi State is not a good team. Arkansas is not a good team. And we help them stay in the game. Texas A&M is a good team, but we help them stay in the game. So which Bama team are you going to get? I mean, if we stick to the identity that we formed in the first half, I think we win every game. But if we don't, we could potentially lose every game as well.
I got to address this. I'm tired of seeing it, and I know this ain't supposed to get personal. Get off with Ty. Ty Simpson is not ready, y'all.
Yeah, they still talking about Ty.
Y'all keep talking about Ty. Y'all want Ty Simpson to transfer for real? Put him out there right now while we have these left guard issues. I mean, these left tackle issues with these protection issues. Put him out there right now with a surge in Tennessee defense coming in next week. Put him out there. Jalen Milroe has done nothing to put this team at a disadvantage. He misses some plays, but he makes more plays than he misses. That's what I can appreciate. Jalen Milroe don't back down from the competition. He don't back down from the moment. He's still growing. He's going into his 9th game. This is usually when quarterbacks hit their stride. Between their 6th and 9th start, that's usually when they start trying to find themselves. I saw a different quarterback at the beginning of the game this week against Arkansas. I saw a different quarterback. The way he was dropping back and going through the progressions, standing up tall in the pocket, climbing the pocket, sliding to the, moving the pocket, helping the pocket move. Even the first play where he threw it away, or where he extended the play and then he finally threw it away. I was like, okay, it might have the switch might be on. But Ty Simpson is not ready, y'all. Get off of Ty. Let that man continue to develop. I think Ty Simpson is in the perfect position to be the starter for next year. Jalen Milroe, he's literally here and taking advantage of the moment. You give Ty Simpson another offseason of hard work and all this stuff that he's been doing, all the progression that he's, supposedly making, him, Dylan Lonergan, all those guys are still going. It's going to be another competition next year at the quarterback position. So be prepared for it. Milroe is doing what needs to be done right now to get us, to help us win. And like the comment said earlier, it's a difference between winning and beating teams. Right now, we're winning. If we commit to the identity that best fits Milroe's skill sets, we can beat teams. This defense is nasty. He said too many freaking pats on the back. Taking my head. Coordinator suck. Tommy trash. Blah blah. Kevin needs to cha. Okay, bye. Appreciate the super chat, Jada. If you're gonna put super chats, man, have a little bit of, little something. Come on, a little etiquette. But yeah, to your point though, I don't think either one of the coordinators trash. Tommy Reese is growing. Kevin Steele, he's the change. He's the positive change that we needed to turn this team around and keep them afloat while this offense meshes. Final thoughts, Coach Jay. What you got to say, brother?
I can't keep saying we need to play better. I can't keep saying it. We just gotta finish strong. I guess that's the same thing in correlation to we got to get better, I guess. But it's just getting tiring. It's getting tiring, man. And it's not because this Bama team is bad or anything like that. You see the potential. You see the growth. You see that this team has what it takes to do it. You see, Jalen. You see that Jalen Milroe is getting a lot better almost every single week. You can tell that he's trying his damnedest, his hardest. You can see the defense finally getting back to form. But it's just, man, we're just killing ourselves. The last couple games is not because of inexperience or not because of just personnel issues or coaching errors. It's literally just because we're just killing ourselves, and we're still just trying to figure out our identity, man. And really, you can make an argument for 3 years now. We've been trying to figure out what our identity is. 2021, it didn't take until the Georgia game and the SC championship game in order for us to kind of figure out who we were as a team and to actually play to our strengths. 2022, we had a hard time figuring that out. And now this year, it just seems like we're just kind of going through the same thing. We've had a lot more good experiences in 2021 compared to 2022. And definitely this year, I can say the exact same thing, but you cannot play around these next 2 weeks. You can't do it.
It's a fact.
You cannot play around the next 2 games. You will lose. And Bama fans, they may not like to hear it, but it's the truth. You will lose these next 2 games if you play like the way that you did the last couple games. You cannot keep letting teams alive. Like, you got them by the throat. Finish it off, man. Can you imagine a lion grabbing an antelope by the throat and then all of a sudden they do? Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Bama
sorry.
Jeff, I'm coming for your neck, Bama Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't see Jalen.
Go after that.
I don't see Jalen getting any better. Only difference is he's not staring down his targets, but the lack of awareness and accuracy is still evident. Wrong, completely wrong. You're wrong, all the way wrong. The fact that you said he's not staring down receivers, he's not. He actually, the reason why he's able to make the 2 touchdown passes that he made today, or the big plays that he made, was his ability to look off, to go through his progressions. 2, his lack of pocket awareness. If he didn't have any pocket awareness, you would have seen that same blitz that A&M blew him up with last week come and blow him up again. This week, it was not the free man blowing him up. his left tackle was getting beat in one-on-one matchups. So kill that noise, Bama Jeff. And at the end of the day, you talking about the best quarterback for the job. I don't think any quarterback in the SEC right now, even Joe Milton, even Devin Leary, especially the Florida quarterback, them dudes come to Bama right now, as much experience as they supposedly have and this and that, they will struggle just as much because you will not get anywhere with an offensive line. And you want to throw Ty Simpson in the fire. You want to put Lonergan in the fire. If we put Buckner in the fire, you seen what happened. This team Milroe is the best, the most complete option we have right now. We have to call the plays that fit the strong suits of what this offense has to offer. I'm sorry I had to go off, but Bama Jeff been going off about Milroe for the past couple of weeks. And that junk is dead, bro. Not just you, but you Bama Jeff is a personal partner. He a personal partner. You know what I'm saying? We go to, bro, get off Milroe, man. That boy, he's our best option. If you don't think that he's the best option, you're blind, man. You're blind.
Nope. Yeah, I seen that. I already knew you had to kind of cook. But
I'm sorry, I ain't had one tonight.
No, I'm gonna let you handle that one, man. But no, it's just finish these teams off, man. That's all I have to say. Finish them off. Cannot do again if you want to play around with food, you want to play around with these teams. Next 2 weeks you will be L's, and our season will be over. So hopefully we can do that.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Sean, final thoughts, man. As we
final thoughts down, to Ed Keeley real quick. I don't know why these guys keep talking about Julian Sain. Julian Sain is a high school quarterback, never played a down of college football in his life. How in the world do you guys think he's going to come into Bama and start as a true freshman? How do you even know this kid going to be better than the quarterback that's on the roster? He's never played college football a day in his life. Now, off of that, my final thoughts is, man, I agree with the guys 100%, man. You know, I think Coach J just summed it up, man. Either we play better or we die on the field. We lose. I don't want to hear about, be positive and all of that. What about, let's see, Bama Jeff 79. What about the short to intermediate passes he missed? Were drive killers? What about identifying where pressure is coming from? And that's every quarterback in the country. So what you're saying is if Ty or Buckner or anything, they would have did any better, then we would have lost more than one game right now.
The thing is, he wasn't seeing them against Texas. He missed the passes this game because he's actually seeing them. So I expect, based off of that progression alone, next time is there, he should be able to make adjustments. This game, he wasn't able to. That's what we're highlighting, what he did this game, what he showed us this game. I still think he has the potential to get there, to hit because he was seeing them. My thing is, set your feet. Remember your technique. That's the simple stuff you could fix in practice. You got to get that with reps. Go ahead, man.
And finally, bottom line, man, the truth, Coach Sean, the truth is in the details. You understand what I'm saying? The truth will always lie in the details. We have to get better all around on offense, man. All around. Run game, picking up the blitzes, play calling, intermediate routes, everything. We just can't go out and throw deep routes all the time. We can't go 5 wide when we've ran the ball all the way down the field. We have to get better as an offense because right now, if I'm on defense and I play for the University of Alabama, I'm pissed. I won't say it to the media, but I'm pissed because you have put me in a horrible position time and time again. If we do not correct these small things on defense, a better team will get us. We may play the same way and stop them, but they will score on us, get up on us, and we won't be able to come back on them the way we did Texas A&M or whoever else. We have to play better on offense from coaches to players if we want to win these next 2 games, period.
Right. And I want to highlight this comment by Mitch also because he's going to – that was my closing argument. I would love to see Milroe continue to be used as an athlete, implementing the run game, perimeter run game, read option, even if we're not comfortable with his RPO ability. I don't think they're comfortable in his RPO ability. If not, still present the opportunity for it to be something to build off of. Show the look, give the look to keep the defense unbalanced. It's not always about a play actually working. It's about creating a look, setting things up. And you can do that when you have a strong run game. And I believe this Alabama offense strength is the run game. As much as our offensive line struggles, they're more efficient in the run game, particularly in between the tackles. Very, very rarely do we see them, create gaps or create avenues for guys to bounce outside and get upfield. But in between the tackles, they're pretty solid. And we saw an aggressive offensive line in that first half I would have loved to see that same style of blocking scheme continue to be implemented until it will stop. And I would like if I can coincide with anything that most of the fan base is saying right now as far as the offensive play calling, I miss the old days of when things were rolling. That's what we roll with. When Derrick Henry was on a freaking tear, we ran the ball 11 straight times on a drive with Derrick Henry one time. And we did it with Eddie Lacy one year. He had the ball like 8 times. We ran the ball 8 times in a row with Eddie Lacy. Bo Scarborough was, Trent
against Georgia. Derrick Henry against Georgia on the road. Like he had like 31 carries.
31 carries in that game. The COVID year. You remember the COVID year? He had big carries against a lot of teams. So my thing is, and Bo Scarborough, we was on the show a couple weeks ago. He was talking about, allowing guys to maintain a rhythm. I felt like this whole running back room, no matter who you threw out there, was in a rhythm. And that offensive line, the way they were having to get pushed off the ball, they were given enough push to where this running back, this run game could have been just the name of the game, the run game. You get what I'm saying? So the moment we figure that out, play calling wise, this team is going to be in perfect position to just take over. At the end of the day, y'all, chat, it's a win. It's a win at the end of the day. He said, Coach Smoot, so can a QB not change the protection to give to help the left tackle to give himself? It's a difference between changing protection, and it's a difference when your left tackle is getting beat. There's nothing that Milroe can do to help Caden Proctor or Elijah Pritchett protect him better. You're literally getting beat in one-on-ones. J.C. Latham has an assignment. Everybody across that line has an assignment. You pick up double teams, you pass them off, you do that, but literally every sack was given up. It wasn't stunts that was beating these guys. I can't give him the excuse like I did against Texas A&M when they ran a beautiful stunt against him, and he just was late on it. I can't give him that excuse.
Changing the protection don't help you if your man is getting beat one-on-one. Like you could change the protection to bump over, down, block. If you getting beat one-on-one,
you can't help it. Like you just have to live with it and adjust. And that when they adjusted, which was running to the weak side, running into the pressure that was giving you the problems. I remember the first thing I learned as a play caller, my first game being able to call plays. Coach, why are we running away from the pressure? Run at the pressure. Don't give the pressure time to establish pressure. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like that's simple things that got to be re-implemented. But
and that's something that just can't happen, man. Yeah, that's something that can't happen because what's going to happen? He's going to get trigger happy in that pocket because all of a sudden he's going to try to rush his process because he feels like that the pocket's going to collapse extremely quickly before he could even go through the reads.
Mm-hmm. And Chief 18, you are perfectly correct. But it's certain times when he said stepping up in the pocket would have helped that, and it was literally 2 plays, not the whole game. Get off the freshman and get on Milroe. Hey, no,
I said in the beginning of our opening segment,
we said the left tackle. We didn't give. Yeah. I didn't say anybody particular. I said left tackle.
Yeah,
both of them had strong. Both of them. We've been heavy on their negatives, but both of them had key plays on the left run game. When we were running the ball to the left.
I don't have no issue with them in the run game.
It's the pass pro. Literally, guys, y'all got to stop getting so caught up in the person and literally just look at the tape. Go look at pass pro. Both of our left tackles were not good.
Fact.
Neither one of them. I'd rather right now. I'll take that left tackle at. I'll take Tyler Steen back at left tackle right now. Right now, where we at with the rest of the offensive line with Jaden Roberts getting inserted, I wouldn't mind having Tyler Steen coming back and getting a couple of them holding calls he got last year. At least Jalen Milroe be clean. You know what I'm saying? Coming from that left side. I'm just saying, but I still trust in Caden. I still think he can grow. It's just if we're going to continue to play him, let's change the play calling style to fit his strengths, and that's run blocking. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hey, but check this out, chat. Great show tonight. Appreciate the interactions, guys. We kept it above 200 just about the whole show, man. You guys are really getting the word out, putting the word out there, y'all, bringing the love, showing the love to the coaches, my bro, Coach Sean. We creating his Twitter tonight, y'all. I got to get on the road after this show, but we creating Coach Sean Twitter tonight. And we getting ready to launch a few things content-wise. Y'all be looking out for it. Coach Jay, myself, we're going to be doing some things. It's a great day to be a Bama fan, y'all. We got a W. Yes, we got plenty of room to grow, but that's a good thing about being a fan and being an analyst. When your team is perfect, it's hard to find things to talk about. When your team got stuff to work on, we got plenty to talk about. So, of course, we'll see y'all Monday on Monday Night Quarterback with the Coaches. Coach Jay, take it away. Tell the people where they could find you, man, on all your social media platforms, bro.
Find me at Twitter, Jant716. If you want to, try to, have some fan interactions with me, talk junk, talk trash. We can do that on Twitter. Jant Sports on YouTube. If you want to see kind of more of an uncut, uncensored version of me, kind of go on rants, you can do that on Jant Sports. And I guess to kind of close this thing out, I guess I can say this, man. We got the win. A lot of stuff that we're disappointed in, but I think the most important part, we got the win. And like I said, it could be worse. We could be like Colorado right now, choking a 29-0 29-0 lead. So at least we didn't do that. So I'm just glad we got the win. We can focus on the future.
I knew he was coming. Coach Sean, take it away. Coach Jay, he just
Shout
been
out
on
to Chief
one.
18 Wheels. I see you, bro.
Yeah,
I like that. You guys can find me at the moment right here on any of Kyle's content. We'll be here tapped in right now. The guys are helping me out with this Twitter so I can understand the social media world I wasn't really privy to or cared about. I appreciate everybody that wanted to tap in and talk about my football. I'm gonna keep it real. The truth is in the details. Always remember that. I'll be right here, guys. Roll Tide to everybody. We'll take the win and on to the two most important games on our schedule.
Yes, sir. And as you all know, you all can find me at Coach Smook on every platform. We've been real active on a lot of platforms. A lot of y'all been giving me a little backlash about some of the things I've been saying, but I'm gonna stick with it, man, because this team really has nothing but upside. Yes, performances have not been ideal, but a win is a win at the end of the day. I love watching film. I love watching this team play. I love watching this team grow. Yes, it's heart-wrenching to see some of the things we see, but this team is young. This team is going to continue to grow. And if this is if this is the floor right now, and we supposed to be going up, like I said a couple weeks ago, we're not in the same place we were a couple weeks ago. We have new things to complain about. So I'm excited. But Coach Smook on every platform. And don't forget, every Monday night, y'all, come join us. Monday Night Quarterback with the Coaches. Going to be going crazy this Monday, I'm pretty sure, because one, we got another ugly win. But another thing we got to understand, man, it's a win. It's an SEC conference win. We was able to hold down home field. Circumstances presented themselves. This team still, one thing I think we all can agree on with this team is that they're resilient. They are way more resilient than they need to be. They probably are being showcasing that resilience more than they need to. But this is a resilient team, and you can grow with teams like that. You can build with teams like that and characteristics like that across the board. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for showing up, man. Again, Coach Jay, Coach Sean, myself, we appreciate y'all. Roll Tide. Shout out to Kyle Henderson, Mr. Bama Football on YouTube himself, the GOAT of all this stuff, man. We appreciate you for the platform, man. And shout out to the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. Roll Tide. We out of here.
Appreciate y'all. Roll Tide.